And then if you don't qualify for the American Opportunity Credit, you might and probably do still qualify for the Lifetime Learning Credit. This is basically your consolation prize for not qualifying for the American Opportunity Credit. The Lifetime Learning Credit is a completely non-refundable credit. So if your income is low enough, like below the standard deduction, that you have no tax bill, then you can't get any benefit from the Lifetime Learning Credit. The Lifetime Learning Credit is a non-refundable credit of based on up to $10,000 in qualified expenses. And that is per tax return. So even if you have two kids who are both, maybe one is in med school and the other one's in law school, they both have completed their undergraduate degree, but you only get to claim a total of $10,000 in expenses. And the credit amount is just a flat 20% of your total combined education expenses. So up to 10,000, 20% of that is 2,000 per return. And the income limits are the same for Lifetime Learning Credit as they were for American Opportunity Credit. And one other requirement for the Lifetime Learning Credit is that your college expenses must be to acquire or improve your job skills. They have to be work related somehow. Whether it helps qualify you for a new job or helps improve your skills for a job you already have. So that's why med school and law school will automatically count, because those will be your qualifications to be a lawyer or a doctor. Okay. How many? For the American Opportunity Credit, you have to be half-time or more, and one class is okay. So even if you just take one class, I did that a few years ago. I went back and took an accounting class just to refamiliarize myself with how that works, and I got the Lifetime Learning Credit for that one. So you don't have to be a half-time student. You don't have to be a full-time student. But you do have to be a half-time student for the American Opportunity Credit. For the Lifetime Learning Credit, you can do that with any one or more classes. And there's no limit on the number of years. You can be a lifetime college student. You can take a class every year for your entire life and claim this credit every year for your entire life. And there's an overview of the requirements there. And so here's an example where Brian goes to culinary school and he pays $2,400 for his class, including tuition, equipment, and required books. Remember, the books will only count if the school requires that they be purchased from the school, and in this case, they are. So you can count the whole $2,400 as an educational expense, as long as the culinary school has something to do with him finding a job. Okay. Carl is required to pay $1,400 in tuition, and he had to buy $200 worth of books from the school for this course. He also purchased review books and other equipment from Amazon, we don't count that for the lifetime learning credit. In fact, we don't count it for the American Opportunity Credit either. We only count books and equipment that are required as part of the class. So if your class syllabus says you have to have a laptop, then you could count your laptop for the American Opportunity Credit. If your syllabus says you have to buy our laptop, then you could also count it for the lifetime learning credit. You can't use the same student for both credits, but you can claim both credits if you have different students in your house. So you may have a 19-year-old who is a freshman in college, and you may have a 23-year-old who is in their first year of law school, and you would claim the American Opportunity Credit for your freshman child, and you would claim the lifetime learning credit for your law school child. So, for example, Darlene and Tom have one dependent who is in their 5th year of college. So they've already claimed the American Opportunity Credit 4 times. So that dependent's son, they'll have to claim the lifetime learning credit for. And Darlene and Tom are also taking classes. So you can combine all of their expenses because you only claim the lifetime learning credit once for the whole tax return. Which credit do you want to choose? Well, you can mix and match, you can switch back and forth, but in general, you'll want to take the American Opportunity Credit because it is a larger credit and more beneficial. But there are some times that you may want to take the lifetime learning credit even if you qualify for the American Opportunity Credit. For example, if your child just started college in the fall and you're not going to reach that $4,000 in tuition, maybe you've got in-state tuition, maybe they're only taking a few classes, maybe you want to save that American Opportunity Credit because remember you can only take it 4 times. Maybe you want to save that for a future year. There's a chart in our book on pages 360 and 361 that summarizes the differences and similarities between the American Opportunity Credit and the Lifetime Learning Credit. And the only thing that I'll add to my summary chart is that, because those are the main, most cogent points, is these 7 differences or 8 differences between the two.